guys, welcome back to the page. Thank you for being here today. I was gonna say it's great to see you guys, but I literally cannot see you. I'm looking at a camera right now. But what I've been trying to remember lately when I film is that I'm not looking at a camera. I'm actually looking at an audience and I'm looking at you guys. And I just try to remember that because I personally watch a lot of YouTube and watch a lot of vlogs, and I watch a lot of things. But I feel like when I watch these like sit down videos or vlogs, you really feel like you get to hang out with this person that you're watching. And even though you know you're not, but you know, it just that feeling. So yeah, and I just want to remember that when I record, that like I'm literally looking at you guys and we do get to spend time together, even though I'm spending time in the future. But you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for, oh, my eye is very itchy. Thank you guys so much for being here today and just for your loyalty and for your support. And if you are new here, my name is Sarah. I'm a Christian life coach and a content creator. So yeah, to be honest with you guys, today Adam and I were supposed to film a video together, and we actually sat down and we tried to, and basically what came to us, and let me know what your guys' thoughts are, because this is something that we're thinking of doing, is we're thinking that Adam might start his own channel where still once in a while we're going to post videos on here of the both of us. It's still going to be called Sarah and Adam, and we will do videos together on here and there. But we were thinking of him creating his own channel, and he'll be doing videos on his own where he can really speak into a lot of issues that men might be facing, and just kind of giving him that creative room to just like flow and see what the Holy Spirit is saying to him, and upload when he wants to upload and film when he wants to film. So yeah, we just kind of started chatting about that today. So let me know in the comments for the men that are watching. I know we do have a higher percentage of women who are watching, but we do still have men, a lot of men that watch our channel. So men and also women, you can let me know what you think about, if you think it's a good idea for Adam to start a channel where he can just, you know, really share with you guys. But again, we'll still do some videos on here of the both of us here and there. Yeah, so what I wanted to share with you guys today, I have lots of notes of different things, different revelations I've had this week. So yeah, first thing I wanted to share with you guys is that, so Adam and I bought a juicer. We started juicing, and I started Googling, is juicing good for adrenal fatigue? Because that's something I'm currently recovering from. And came across this website with this coach who helps people with adrenal fatigue. And she basically had this little like workshop PDF PDF worksheet that you can kind of work on. She's not a Christian, but she asked some really important questions in that worksheet, and I just wanted to talk about it because she said, I want you to write down the benefits of you healing, or the benefits of you getting better, and I want you to write down the benefits of you not getting better and not healing. And obviously that sounds really weird to anyone who's either sick, or you are in a waiting season, or you're in a process, or you're just going through something. It could be mental health issues. So obviously when you hear that, it's like, why would there be a benefit of me being sick, or yeah, not making it through this, not wanting to get to the other side? So logically you think that doesn't make sense, but it's more like subconsciously, if there are beliefs, which I have talked many times on my channel about strongholds, some people call them limiting beliefs, lies from the enemy, but a lot of the times we are not actually aware of them. I believe that they're in our soul, so they're affecting our mind and our heart, or subconscious, and sometimes we don't always know what we are believing, or that we are believing something. And so obviously it takes a level of self-awareness and reflection, but also you can just ask the Holy Spirit to bring those things up. Not everyone is going to be aware of those things right away. So anyways, I was thinking, first of all, like, I was a bit shocked by that question. Like, what are the benefits of you not healing? And I'm like, what? Anyway, but again, I was like, could have subconscious beliefs here. So I started journaling and I wrote down what are the benefits of me not healing. And it was like, I don't have to work so hard anymore. I have an excuse to take a break from work, or I have an excuse for when I'm not able to make it to social events or to do people favors or things like that. I have a legitimate reason of why I can't. And I don't remember what else I wrote down, but those are two that really stood out to me. And again, it's not a logical, practical thing. It's more like, because I have struggled a lot with people pleasing, and for those of you who struggle with people pleasing or fear of man, which I think a lot of people struggle with fear of man, is that it's hard to say no. And I feel like when you have more of a legitimate reason, I feel like it's hard to say no when you don't actually have a reason. If you just say no because you don't feel led to do it, or you need to preserve your energy, or today you don't feel led to do anything except for read the word and sit in your house, so you don't feel led to go and help someone with something or whatever it was. Sorry, Adam just turned the TV on in the other room and it's really loud, but I think he's turning it down now. So yeah, it kind of was like subconsciously, again, it's not consciously that I'm thinking, oh, I need to have a reason. It's subconsciously that I would be feeling like, oh, I have this, I have a legitimate reason. And so it's okay. I don't have to feel bad then, because I think a lot of people that struggle with people pleasing, a lot of guilt comes in. So even if you build yourself up to be able to put up boundaries and say, no, I can't do this, it doesn't mean the stress is now alleviated. That's something that I heard someone say about adrenal fatigue. Is she said, you have to say no to people and commitments and things, but more importantly is you have to be at peace and okay with saying it. Because if you just say no, sorry, I can't help you with that, but then you're just sitting there and you're you have inner turmoil going on and you're just allowing all this psychological stress, you haven't been alleviated from that. Now you're just sitting in it. So anyways, I think that when you have, again, subconsciously, when you have a legitimate reason, it alleviates some of the stress, because you're like, well, I'm actually unwell. If you were to go to lunch with someone and it was their birthday and it was like a really important, it's your best friend, and you have the flu and you say, I can't go, I don't want to spread it to other people, blah, blah, blah. You don't feel so bad because you're like, I'm actually sick. Whereas if you're just like, I have too much on my plate, or mentally I'm not doing that well today, when you say no, sometimes you would feel a lot worse because you're like, I could have actually gone, or I could have actually helped them, etc., etc. So what I mostly wanted to share when I thought of this, or this revelation came to me, is not so much about my own personal revelations about it, but more so how this could apply to your guys' life if you have been struggling with mental illness or physical illness, or you're in a waiting season, you're in a process, you're in a wilderness. And this doesn't always apply to everyone, by the way, in all situations. Sometimes we're like, I'm literally doing everything that I can. But I think it's an interesting question to ask, like, is there anything that's keeping me in this season? What are the benefits of me remaining in this season? Me and my mom were talking the other day about how, we'll notice, for an example, someone could have a lot of responsibility that's constantly being put on their plate, and then we see them all of a sudden they have an injury and they have another injury, and then they're sick, and there's this and there's that, and there's always like drama and chaos in their lives. But really it's because they want to get out of that responsibility or role or whatever it is, and they don't know how to say no, and so things start happening to them that are going to release them from that, if that makes sense. It's not something they're choosing to do. So yeah, that's just something that I thought of was interesting, is if you're in a season like that right now, even asking, like, what is the benefit of me staying in this season? and just seeing what answer comes up. I thought that would be interesting. So again, might not resonate with you because for me, but then again, for me personally, when I was first asked that question, why would I want to be sick? Why would I want to be on my couch for 7 days straight? Why would I not want to be able to exercise, do my work properly? Like, why would there be any benefit of me feeling this way? So it is a bit offensive, I think, when you're first asked that question, because I was offended for a millisecond, and then I was like, no, it's okay. No one even offended me. I read a question on a piece of paper, but it's more like the idea that it's offensive of like, why would I want to stay in the situation that I'm in? But then realizing like what I thought back to was that I was balancing so much, and there was so much emotional stress that was coming on me, and also physical, tangible stress that was on me. And I remember I would say to people like, you know, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not doing well. And I never felt like I truly, even though I have like literally the most amazing friends and the most amazing family, and I have an amazing husband, I didn't feel like anyone really understood how bad it was. Like, you know, when you tell someone like you're struggling, but they don't understand the capacity that you're struggling because you look fine and you appear fine and you're always like the strong person or the resourceful person. I feel like that's how it was for me, where I was like I'm not doing well. And I went to do like an inner healing deliverance session in the spring, and I wrote down in my intake form, I said, I'm not doing well right now in terms of like there's so much pressure on me coming from every direction that I feel as if I have to literally fall ill for people to believe me or to like give me a break, if that makes sense. And I did like repent for saying that and renounce those words because I don't want to speak that over myself. But obviously like there comes a point where you have to be honest and you can vent, and it was an intake form, so obviously I'm going to be honest. And after I said that, a week later is when I got sick for the first time with the adrenal fatigue situation. And so I feel like a lot of times when I would tell people like I'm not doing well, not even just this year, in general in my life, even if I was sick, like I would have the flu and I would have to go to work or whatever it was, whenever I would tell people like I'm not well, they would always say like, really, you look totally fine. I would never know, like just the way you look and the way you come across, you seem very composed and you seem fine. I don't know how to not come across that way. So anyways, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that it was like subconsciously, it's like a cry for help, and it came out in that way. But anyways, I'm not asking for like insight or advice or anything like that. I'm just sharing this with you guys to give you this revelation that maybe it can apply in your situation, maybe in the future, maybe now. And I think it's a good question to ask. I'm probably going to share one or two more things. So, okay, I'll share this with you guys. The last video that Adam and I did together, we were saying that we wanted to start doing painting together. So I ordered the paint by number paints, and honestly it was a really good price for $22 on Amazon, $22 Canadian on Amazon. We got 4 canvases, 4 different sets of paints, 4 different sets of 4 paintbrushes. I feel like it was a really good deal. Anyway, so we started doing paint by number because we're trying to, you know, find something, different things to do together. So I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you this first, I think. So this is what my picture is supposed to end up looking like. I've only painted for one night. We've only done one night so far of painting. This is how big the canvas is. And this is all that I've gotten so far. Just the top corner. It's a little bit bright right now because it's overexposed. But I wanted to actually show you guys how small these little numbers are. I think I'm going to need to turn down the camera's brightness to see this. But you can see there's very small ones. Okay, hopefully the camera color is back to normal. But basically what happened is that Adam has his photo, I have my photo. As I said before, Adam is very patient, and so he's, you know, working away with his little tiny paintbrush, and I'm working away. I feel like I was working faster than him because I was more impatient. He was more like calm and doing it in a calming way, and I was looking at it more of like, this is something I have to accomplish, and I have to like knock off my to-do list. So I'm gonna like work on it quickly. And the little tiny, you know, it's so small, some of them, it's so small, and it's a little bit frustrating because you're like, you get the paint out and you paint and it's like literally a dot, and you're like, that's not very rewarding. So, and then I ended up looking at the whole picture and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna take so long. And it just was not rewarding because I wanted to see the full picture. And I really felt like the Holy Spirit inspired me in that moment to just really realize like that is also like, that is a process. So that is a process of what I'm going through with healing. That is a process of maybe what you're going through with being in a wilderness season or waiting season, where the lucky thing is that we actually get to see the full picture of what it's supposed to look like. So we actually have something tangible to work towards because we actually know the outcome. Whereas in real life, we don't necessarily have a photo like this because we're walking by faith and not by sight. So we're believing in God's promises for us or words He's spoken over us, and we're working towards those things. But we don't fully know when it's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know fully how it's going to look like. But all we can do is be obedient in the very small little steps that we do. And during the painting, the small little steps were fill in this color that's literally the size of nothing, and trust that like you are making progress, but more like it is just a part of the process. Like it is something required for you to do. Even though when you do it, you're like, that wasn't very rewarding because look at how much still has to be done. So yeah, it just kind of inspired me to like just be obedient to doing the little tiny steps that are there, and eventually you will see the whole picture come together. So that's what I want to say about that. I might just share one more quick thing, and let me just see in my notes here. Basically what I do is throughout the week, if something comes to me, I just write it in my phone, and I'm like, maybe share that, maybe share that, maybe share that. So yeah, I wrote down the painting analogy, and then I have my notebook here. And one other thing I'll just quickly share with you guys is that so Adam and I have been doing our Bible study, just him and I. We chose the book of Hebrews, and then we're watching a video of a pastor, and he's going over the book of Hebrews. And I hope I can find it here. I hope I can find it here. Okay, so this is what he was saying in the sermon, and I thought it was really interesting. So he said, God always sees the need. God will always see the need, but it doesn't mean just because he sees the need, he's just going to respond right away. And I found that to be very comforting, because I'm like, you know how sometimes if you're like, hey God, help me, like I have this need here, whether it's financial, sickness, you're waiting to be married, whatever it is, you're like, hey God, there's a need here, hello. And if you don't see, oh no, sorry, 1 second. Hello? Okay, so we have this house phone because it's the only way that we can buzz people up. That was Amazon. So anyways, so I found it to be very comforting. This phone shouldn't have been in here. This should have been in the other room. But anyways, I found it to be very comforting that it's like, okay, God is acknowledging my need, but just because he's not responding to it, it doesn't mean he doesn't see my need, and it doesn't mean he doesn't acknowledge my need. And he was saying like, he was so patient. For an example, with Jesus, Jesus was living on the earth for 30 years and he was a carpenter, and there were so many needs that Jesus saw, but he didn't start really acting, or at least publicly, until he was 30 years old. So give or take, let's say he waited 30 years to start meeting those needs. And when the Father said go, that's when he went. And he was just saying he did more in 3 years than we could have ever done in 3,000 years. And I just found that, really reassuring. Or even, was it 4,000 years? He was saying that, God saw a need and he waited 4,000 years. Was it 4,000 years when Jesus came? Anyways, sorry if I got the number wrong, but the point is that it's like God sees the need, and it doesn't mean he reacts immediately. And I just found that to be really reassuring and really comforting, that he is with us and he does acknowledge our pain and our suffering, and he's not answering it, not answering our need immediately because he's cruel and mean or anything like that. I hear Adam opening the package. I don't know if it's something that I ordered. He's probably like, what is this? But he acknowledges it. I just found it to be very comforting as I'm going through my journey of healing, because I'm like, hello. And as Adam has been going through his healing, his journey of healing, and maybe for you, whatever you're going through. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, that God does see your need and he does acknowledge it. And it's just his timing, right? But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys for today. And I just want to thank you guys so much for your ongoing support, and for liking this video, and for subscribing to our channel and commenting, to our Patreons, to our clients, to my students from NowBloom Academy. And I also just wanted to let you guys know that the day that this video is coming out, we are having a Black Friday sale for Covered by Grace. So I will put the details below. And yeah, that is all for today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.